Greetings and welcome to Mount Olympus. I am Hercules Invictus, and today I'm proud to bring you Spaced Out with the one and only Bob Vosseller. Greetings, Bob.
How you doing?
I'm doing great, and I'm glad to see Wayne is here. I haven't talked to Wayne in a long time.
A long time, Hercules. A long time, my friend. All is well here.
I will be here if you need me. Enjoy the show. I know I'll be enjoying listening to you.
Absolutely. Thank you very much.
Well, we don't exactly have a plan, but that has never stopped us before, and we're going to have fun. So there's a lot of various topics to talk about. We are on the eve of Shore Leave, which is a big fan-run convention in Lancaster, Pennsylvania, and I'm psyched to be on my way down there tomorrow to see a lot
Good.
of friends and members of my crew and members of other chapters, including a member, I believe what Mike is going to be there from Britannic, right? Or maybe not.
But Mike from Botanic will be there, also representing Guardian. I think I have another one of my members, Jordan Reinlieb. I think he might be attending as well. But I know at least I will have an away team of one there. Unfortunately, I'm working double shifts now because one of my dispatchers retired, so we have to all kind of pitch in and fill in until we get somebody off of civil service. I'm not complaining.
I understand that. I remember when we lost one of our reporters and we had to fill in for a town I wasn't as familiar with. But
Right, right.
yeah, that was several months. I hope your replacement comes along faster.
Oh
Although in
no,
the
we
meantime,
no we want the overtime. Trust me.
yeah, I was going to say, in the meantime, you're doing well on the credit roll there.
Absolutely, absolutely. But it's every other week, so it's okay. One week it'll be my normal shift. The next week I'll be doing a few doubles, but that's almost 32 hours of overtime every two
Uh,
weeks. So Wayne is happy.
Well, and you were recently at Trek Long Island, and
Trek
that
Long Island was a very, very good, nice little convention over here, smack dab in the middle of Long Island in Hauppauge, and there were many guests there. We had Not a Visitor was there.
she's
For you,
great, you know.
yep, yep. Also the actress who played Minuet, Riker's Holly Riker,
Oh, yeah.
still very pretty, very, very pretty. Who else do we have here? We had Oh God, forgive me if I'm not remembering names. But he was he played an Andorian. He was also well,
In
who is that? Jeffrey Combs. Jeffrey
okay,
Combs was
yeah,
there.
yeah.
Yep,
He
yep.
played Tran, yeah,
Yes. Shran. Yeah, yep, yep, that's right.
and was also
Anachornate.
Brunt,
Liquidate. Was he a liquidator?
Ferengi, you know.
Yep, yep, he was Ferengi. I think he was a liquidator.
Yeah.
Also there we had Vosh, the actress who played Vosh in a couple of
Oh,
episodes of
love
Next
her.
Generation. She was looking very healthy, looking very healthy. Nana Visitor was looking great as usual. And then, of course, to top it all off, I do not recall the actress's name, but Uhura from Strange New Worlds. What a very pretty woman. Very,
Yes.
very pretty. Very pretty. And all were very, very accessible to the fans and very, very nice. And it was a good convention. Our recruitment table for Britannic and in essence Region 7 was visited by a lot of people. So we'll see. We'll see if we get anybody. If not, they know that Star Trek fandom is alive and well.
Yeah. Yep. Yes, I saw that actress whose name I can't recall, who plays Uhura in Strange New Worlds. Very vivacious. She talked a lot about her home life at the convention I saw her at last
Right.
fall, and Nana Visitor was also there. And when my microphone went dead, she literally ran off the stage with her hand mic and shoved it right in my face. So I was like, "Wow, Colonel Kira has come to the rescue," and here I am getting like personalized service. I really liked it. So.
It's always good getting personal service. Absolutely, Bob.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
yeah. Well, surely will bring us only really two of the original Star Trek actors, and they're not regulars. They were the actor who played Lieutenant DePaul and also played the later version of Captain Pike when he was
Yes, I know who you're talking about. I know. Yep, I know who you're talking about.
his
Yes,
line consisted of beep, beep.
right.
But
Green or red?
yeah, so and the actress who played the Salt Vampire in what was the very first televised episode of Star Trek, not the first taped or filmed rather.
Yeah.
But
Let's show our Star Trek knowledge. What was the name of that episode?
Mantrap.
That's it exactly. Because
Yeah.
I for a second there, I didn't remember, and I would have to go to Star Trek jail if I missed that
Yeah,
one.
the very first episode, which it shouldn't have been. It should have been where
We're in a
no
minute.
man has gone before. Uh,
Right.
because of the uniforms and everything else, and other episodes had also been filmed where we see Uhura in a gold uniform. Um,
Yes. Yes.
so those were obviously shot first. I think Mantrap was like the third episode filmed, but it was the first because NBC in their infinite wisdom decided that it needed more. The opening should be action packed and more dramatic, even though I think there was plenty of action and drama in Where No Man Has Gone Before, or
Yes, I would say there would be more action where no man has gone before. Yes.
yeah. So but again, uh, decades later, we've seen other networks, like Firefly was almost entirely put out of order,
Yes.
by that network, which was Fox Network, which was stupid. You know,
And if for those that are for any of the oh the buffs out there, the phaser rifle was the only time it was ever shown in the original series was on Where No Man Has Gone Before, and Kirk is the one that was wielding it.
yeah, and what a beautiful
That
looking
was a nice piece. Yes, I mean it definitely
weapon,
looked
sleek.
1960s, but
Yeah, very sleek looking, and it's a shame that it had never, like nobody had decided, oh, we should use this again.
yeah, or even the phaser cannon. The cannon they set up.
Yeah,
I mean that was powered by the ship. So it
yeah.
would be a very, very, very deadly piece of machinery.
And also the jackets. I like those
I
kind
like
of,
those away team jackets very, very much. Yes,
yeah.
yes,
We didn't get it to see anything like that until much later,
that's
on
true.
Next
Although
Gen.
I do like the Wrath of Khan, those jackets with the turned up collar. They
Yeah,
actually look like they'd be very, very warm.
yeah, those look sharp. Uh,
Yes, absolutely.
Great for Arctic missions.
Yes, yes, to go where no one's been cold before.
But we've got beyond conventions. We've got surely we'll have some stars from the original Battlestar Galactica, from
Yes, yes,
Stargate Atlantis, at least two, and obviously from Star Trek, Starfleet Academy. Unfortunately, I can't pronounce some of their names, and I recently wrote the press release for it,
right.
locally. But I hope to see them. I'm not as familiar with their backgrounds or anything, but although one of the actresses who plays the um, Jem'Hadar Klingon hybrid. She was in that sitcom on CBS called Bob Hart. I can't pronounce it. Emily watched that show a lot, but she was in that, and I didn't even realize that until I started reading the bio stuff. So,
Right,
uh,
right, right, right.
but it should be interesting.
As far as people attending Shore Leave, I heard that Mark Hanford and Hazel will be at the
Yeah.
convention, and he wants to represent the Colonial Ministry of Defense, which is the Battlestar Galactica Club. So represent Guardian well, Bob. You're gonna have to wear a couple of hats that
Yeah.
weekend.
Oh, I am glad you reminded me because I almost finished my packing. I got to make sure that within my pile of shirts that I pack along the Guardian shirt.
Right,
I
right.
think it's
Market's gonna
there,
be
but
there.
I'll double check just to make sure.
Good, good, good.
So I'll wear it when I go to see the Battlestar actresses and actors.
Very
Boomer,
good.
Bojay, and it was supposed to be Sheba, but she bailed out and replaced the person that she replaced, or rather, who came back, which was Cassiopeia, Lorette Spang.
Lorette Spang, yes, yes,
Yeah.
yes. And that was Anne Lockhart, I believe her name was that played
Yeah, and
Kate.
Lockhart was supposed to originally Laura she Spang couldn't be there and she replaced her and then they switched again or something. I so
Hollywood is weird.
yeah, Walter Koenig was supposed to also be there, but he took ill or is recovering from something. I don't know.
Right, right.
So, but it should be an interesting weekend.
I'm
Um,
sure it will be.
fun times and in Lancaster, Pennsylvania. I hope to actually stop into the diner that's called simply Diner this year, you know.
Okay, good, good, good.
It looks so unusual. Um, so obviously I did get the chance to see Supergirl and
And without giving away any spoilers, how was the movie?
I found it fun. I mean, it gives you a glimpse of a different kind of Supergirl that we're not used to. She is Kara El, as opposed to the Supergirl that was in the Flash movie, who was a different from a different Earth. But um, Kara, she is exactly what this movie was supposed to depict her to be. She's kind of recovering from the fact that, unlike Kal-El, she went through the destruction of her planet and the trauma of losing her parents because she was older.
Right.
And she's kind of a mess in a way. And so she goes off world, particularly to red sun planets where she could actually get drunk and stuff. And you know, without giving too much away, she encounters somebody else that she can kind of sympathize with and kind of helps out and there's some bad guys that reminded me a lot of some of the Mad Max kind of people that we saw in the Mad Max franchise.
Right.
And of course it's no surprise we get Lobo, excellently portrayed by Jason Momoa, previously Aquaman.
Yeah.
But this is the role I think he was born to play because I always thought that he looked, a lot like him and just put a little bit of face grease paint on him and he's perfect. So, he's in the movie just long enough to be effective. He doesn't dominate it. He's not,
Okay. Good. That's
but
good.
he had some great lines. Great, the special effects I thought were good but not overused. There are a lot of aliens in this movie. And it's pretty straightforward. You see where it moves along at a pretty brisk pace, and she's kind of on a mission there to get to a point where and it's simple. It's a kind of a rescue operation. So
Right.
and it comes kind of full circle. That's all I'll say is that she makes some realizations along the way. So of her own crisis and seeing it through the eyes of the other person that has a personal crisis and similar type of loss. So, I thought it was a good movie and fun enough and entertaining enough.
Hey, if you're entertained, you walked out of the theater with a good feeling, then I
I
guess it's
did, I did,
accomplished.
and Emily made sure I did had some fun because I worked on my birthday and. Ironically, I didn't know that Supergirl's birthday was the same day. You'll see it in the movie. But
There you
so
go.
I even went to KFC and had the Supergirl Happy Meal thing. Well, not Happy Meal, but it did come with a toy, so I was happy. So
And what was the toy?
Uh, and I should have brought them. They were upstairs. A little Supergirl, and since Emily also had it, a little Crypto. So I
Well,
was
there you
hoping
go.
to have another and maybe get Lobo, but that hasn't happened yet. So, I had my blue beverage, which is also from the movie, which had like almost bubble tea, but it was kind of a refresher kind of soda kind of thing.
Right, right.
So with a big thick straw and chicken tenders where you could have Lobo's Lobo's white sauce. You could have the other characters' hot sauce, and you could have Supergirl's honey mustard. You know, for your tenders, your chicken tenders
Interesting
with your
marketing. Interesting.
so eh, it's funny how franchises tack on to movies. Like last year, we had Superman come out, and Dairy Queen had their Superman Blizzard. So I thought for sure that they would simply resurrect that and have that for Supergirl. But no, Dairy Queen had no uh, connection to Super. They did not do that. They instead went with the FIFA with the sports thing and introduced three other. You know, so they
Right.
did not revive the Superman Blizzard simply to give it a new name and bring it back because that was pretty popular and that was
Yeah.
pretty good. Anything blue I liked it. So, but oh, before we go on, I got to show you something that you probably remember from your youth. When I saw it at a thrift store, I couldn't help but buy it, and here it is.
Rock'em Sock'em Robots. Wow.
Rock'em Sock'em Robots. You had the red rocker and
And the
the
blue.
blue bomber.
Nice. Does it still make the noise when the head goes bzzz when
Yeah, yep, pretty much. Not I don't know how old these are, but I don't think it's from the original set, but it does say Rock'em Sock'em Robots. And it was sitting there and it was all of $6. And when I walked out of the place with it, a woman stopped the car and had to show her son, this and like explain it to him because of course he was like, oh,
Oh,
mom.
I definitely had Rock'em Sock'em Robots. And of
Yeah, I did
course,
too. And
and the
now I have
reason,
them. I
yeah.
I mean, who knows? I might have another set up in the attic, but I wasn't taking the chance.
And the reason their heads are square is because you're trying to knock the block off of
Yep,
your opponent, knock your block off.
yep,
Very good. That's a nice piece of nostalgia there.
yeah,
Of course,
yeah,
I'm sure the box is long, long gone.
yeah. There was no box. I mean, I was happy to see it in relatively
Yeah,
full
it looked from here it was
condition,
decent condition.
and it was so funny because when I was there and I was actually talking on the phone to my in-laws at the same time, and I was drifting over there and I had mentioned to them what I had, and an older gentleman, older than me, saw that I was kind of playing around with it. So he got on the other side and I said, well, you be the red and I'll be the blue. And so there I was trying to balance this out with a cell phone and actually battle, and he
Well, you're a
took it
good
rather
multitasker.
seriously because I knocked him out first. Then he got me second, and then we did best of out of three. So um, that was the Blue Bomber. So
And that was your workout for the week.
yeah, pretty much fun and frolics on. I think that was that Saturday. It was no, no, because Saturday, of course, was 4th of July. But yeah, it was sometime after my birthday, probably on a Friday or something. But
Well,
yeah.
happy belated birthday, by the way.
Oh, thank you, thank you. Um, so that movie is, uh, still out there, but we've got Spider-Man coming up.
And what is the title of this next Spider-Man?
Spider-Man, is it Brave New Day or it's got Day
Something.
in it?
Yeah, yeah, because the last one was Far From Home or something like that, right?
Yeah.
I still haven't seen that yet.
Brand New Day, Brave New Day, something like that. And I should know this, but we were left with in our last episode, our last movie. Remember through magic or through some spell or something, nobody remembers Peter Parker. Like MJ doesn't know about the relationship she had, and his good friend doesn't remember him, but yet he lives in the same building now, and so
Right.
he's kind of, Aunt May is gone. Um, Marissa Tomei, and
Yes.
or as we also affectionately call her, Hot Aunt May. And she died in the last movie.
Right.
So I don't know. I mean, we're supposed to see Scorpion in this. We also see the Punisher from the trailer. He lands on his vehicle and has to break into the thing and into the windshield. And who else are we supposed to see? The Hulk, because he goes to none of this is spoilers. It's right in the trailer. He goes to Bruce Banner to get some assistance on his own biological changes that he's going through. So, which is allowing him to spin webs without use of the web cartridges,
Right.
similar to how the first movie Spider-Man,
Tobey Maguire. Yeah. Yeah.
yeah, with Tobey Maguire. And so he's trying to figure out what's going on with his biological changes. There might be a scene, who knows? Everybody's speculating that, like that storyline where he suddenly grows four other arms that come out of him, which they even made an action figure of. If we're going to see that during the course of the movie.
Right.
So um that should prove interesting as well. I'm looking forward to that. That's actually later this month.
Yes. Yes.
Late
Yes.
July. So
And another movie which is causing controversy before it's even seen is The Odyssey.
hmm, yeah,
Chris-
I did. I heard some.
Christopher Nolan has made some interesting casting choices, which a lot of people are not happy with, but we'll see what happens. We'll see what happens.
I know he was filming that for a long time. That's one we saw the trailer for like last year.
Right.
And yeah. And finally it's out, and it's going to be a long movie from what I understand too. I mean,
Yeah.
I
Yeah. Yeah.
think it actually has an intermission. That's
I
how long.
I think that I think it comes out later this month or in August. I believe it's sometime near the end of July, if I'm not mistaken.
Hmm.
So I'll go take you know what? You take everything that people say with a grain of salt. They don't
Yeah.
like this casting, they don't like that cast. I happen to agree with a lot of the miscasting here, but I'll still go see the movie because it might turn out to be a very good movie. I'll bring
Yeah.
a sleeping bag with me if it's going to be that long, but I will. I'll definitely go. I'll definitely see that movie. As far as like seeing Supergirl and then the next Spider-Man movie, you know what? I think I and a lot of people are just superheroed out. They're just too many, and there are too many superheroes that are getting movies that shouldn't really get movies. I mean, not that I've seen. I used to love back in the late 70s, early 80s, Moon Knight. I collected that title, but do I
Hmm.
think that Moon Knight could carry a movie? I don't know.
Well, he questionably carried the streaming service series, which I
Right, because
gotta
that lasted a
say,
season, right?
yeah, I wasn't overwhelmed with that show. I started to watch it, and I almost was relieved when it was over. It hit some of the marks, but not all of them. It got a little
Right,
bit more mystical. It's not exactly the angle I would have played up if I was, doing it. And I always liked the character.
right.
I
So have
just
I.
I discovered Moon Knight in the weirdest way. I didn't read his comic book. I found him in the Hulk. Hulk. There was a Hulk magazine. It was a big magazine, and at first it was black and white, and then it went to color. But it
Ah,
always had Moon Knight backup feature, in it. The stories were a little bit more adult and not quite based on the TV series, but at the same time had some adult theme kind of things in them. And
Right.
or at least when it went to color, because when it was black and white, it had this sci-fi, this 60s retro sci-fi kind of vibe to it.
Right.
But Moon Knight was intriguing, and after a while, I felt I needed to pick up the magazine more for Moon Knight than for. I think this is before Moon Knight had a regular monthly comic book, and I think that helped launch him to that. So,
Okay. All right.
but
Yeah.
yeah, and I never did check out Wonder Man. To me, Wonder Man is, has the red safari jacket and uh, the red goggles. And,
Yes.
I thought for sure that they would go for a comedic Simon Williams character, um, who would be almost afraid to be a superhero because in the comic books, for the most part, he was only around a short time and he died and then came back almost like, I don't know, 14, 15 years later,
Oh,
and then he became an Avenger again, and then he had this phobia about having, since he was in stasis for that amount of time, it was kind of like he died. So he had this feeling of not sure if he wanted to be an Avenger or a superhero, and ended up wanting to be like a stuntman or an actor in you know in the comic book version. So, but I guess I'll check that out eventually, but I just had no desire.
right, 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 right. Did you ever had you ever watched She-Hulk? She-Hulk was never one of my favorite characters, so I never bothered watching the show. Was it to you? Was it any good?
I felt it had some hits in it. I was excited at first, but I did She-Hulk in the beginning. Really, and as much as I like John Byrne's artwork and usually his storylines, the idea of him, the breaking the fourth wall and all that, and making She-Hulk kind of a comedic character, and more, I don't know, silly, just didn't appeal to me. But I decided I would check out the series.
Yeah,
Not exactly who I would have picked for the role of um, Jennifer Walters there, her alter ego. And I would have thought that maybe they would have kept her identity a secret instead of doing what they did later on, which was to you know, everyone knows who she is, and her being an attorney, coming in with high heels and a jumpsuit or whatever, and
right,
green. It is kind of amusing. But they went that route, and I don't know. There were certain episodes I thought were interesting, and her adjusting to being the She-Hulk, and the kind of relationship she had with her cousin Bruce Banner, because as we know, that's how She-Hulk is created. She's injured in a gangster's attempt to kill her, and
right,
she needs a blood transfusion, and the only person available is her cousin, who happens to
right.
be the Incredible Hulk. Um, so I did not like the ending of it. I thought it was way too silly, as far as the end of the first season. And I don't know if they're really going to do a second season or not. I've
I don't
heard
know.
yes, I've heard no. Then I heard that they were, and they were going to possibly recast her, the actress, which mostly is CGI. It's not like, um, but I don't know if you're familiar with how we even have a She-Hulk, was that because of the weird way that the rights were done, when the Incredible Hulk TV series done by Universal and producer Ken Johnson, they wanted to do a She-Hulk or a Hulkette
Right.
or whatever they would have called her, and Stan Lee wanted to make sure that he controlled that. And so before they could initiate that idea, or before they even thought of it, he decided he would create a female Hulk, and
Right.
he created the character of She-Hulk and launched the comic book. So that prevented any opportunity for that to happen, at least not without them pay Universal having to pay royalties to him.
Right.
So shrewd move on his part.
Yes.
Same kind of situation with Spider-Woman, as well. And but that was for a cartoon, and if you remember, Filmation did some kind of cartoon that was called Web Woman, and that was supposed to be Spider-Woman, but Stan Lee once again beat them to the punch. And
Right. Well, I collect that was another title I collected was Spider-Woman. But what was the Madam Web? That was not supposed to be
no,
a
and I'm glad you brought that up, because I think that Sony produced that, and I think they really blew a great opportunity. Dakota Fanning was
yeah.
the actress who played basically that Madam Web was a prequel. It was young Madam Web, or how she became Madam Web, because Madam Web's an older character. Madam Web should have, in my opinion, should have been played by uh, our friend from Halloween,
Jamie Lee Curtis?
Jamie Lee Curtis, who I thought was signed up to do something for Marvel, but and I thought Dakota Fanning would have been she would have made a fantastic Jessica Drew. So I think they really blew it. I think they should have had Jessica Drew as I mean Dakota Fanning as Jessica Drew,
Right.
had Jamie Lee Curtis as Madam Web. It's like throw them all together, and the actress who played was that Sydney? Oh, the famous blonde now. Who played the Julia Carpenter Spider-Woman, who also goes by the name of Arachne. And I don't know some of the other characters who had been held the title of Spider-Woman. They threw them all together.
Oh,
Um,
okay.
so I don't know. And that's what I think is the problem with some of these superhero movies is they see something. They even picked a good villain. They had Kane, who was the genetically altered, he was more of a villain for Spider-Man. He was like
Right.
the clone version, or imperfect clone version. But I mean, he made for a good villain, but I just think you have this wonderful opportunity. You have this great actress who looks the part of Jessica Drew and could have been Spider-Woman, and you could have also had Madam Web.
Right.
So, it should have been a Spider-Woman movie, is what I think, with all the other characters. And I think they would have had a bigger hit. It was a good action film. It was cohesive and sort of made sense, but I don't know. It seemed to lose a little razzle there. I don't know.
Right. Right. And how many seasons were the Agent of Shield? I never watched that either. Like I said, I'm just so superheroed out. None of the TV series, made any impact on me whatsoever. There were quite a number of seasons of Shield.
Agents of Shield was on for at least 4 or 5 seasons,
Okay.
and that also had some issues, and they were supposed to more directly tie in to the
Right.
movie continuity, and then that never really happened. Then they almost went in the opposite direction, and they really used some minor characters, and you know, I think they were kind of a victim of their own limitations as well, because it had such potential. Uh, they even had the Maria Hill character, so, she would show up every so often. They couldn't really use Nick Fury at the time.
Uh,
Not he might have made an appearance once or twice. And Yeah, Shield's storyline, they didn't even incorporate them in that Nick Fury series, the Secret War. Um,
right.
where the Skrull had infiltrated them, and that was a streaming series that came on Disney afterwards. But
Right.
but
And now we see while Marvel has been around, I mean, as far as the movies go, for some time now. Now we have DC trying to put out more and more, but I don't know. I think it's hit and miss. I mean, Batman, Justice League, The Flash. What else have they? What a Green Lantern. It seems like a lot of their movies bomb. Now, out of those movies, I liked most of them, but
well, that's why now they're trying to reboot everything. Why we're getting a new Superman, and why we're going to see a show all on streaming on Max. We're going to see Lanterns, which is going to have, I think, showcase all the Lanterns.
uh-huh.
Hal Jordan, Jon Stewart, Nathan Fillion, who played the um, um, who played that Green Lantern in Superman.
Right.
He's going to be in the show as well. And he plays, basically we refer to him as the obnoxious Green Lantern. And they're going to have the newest Green Lantern, who is a young Latina girl, and I don't really know much of her background. She's got a very complicated background.
Oh, okay.
I don't know if they're going to like dumb it down a little bit because it's rather complicated. It's got something to do with another universe and Sinestro and all that, and so that's going to be interesting. That comes out, I think, next month
Oh, really?
on
Okay.
Max. So, um, and then the Peacemaker, I think that's gotten another season or will get another season. Um,
I heard it was very good.
yeah, it was interesting, and that's a character that I didn't think could go too far, from seeing it in the comics.
Right.
But and it'll be interesting to see what happens with the casting of Wonder Woman. I mean, a lot of people thought Gal Gadot was, the epitome of Wonder Woman. I mean, Wonder Woman 84, I think, suffered from some bad editing.
That was not a very, very good movie. True.
No, no, it was too long, and it should have been edited differently. And I think, there was some choices that were made there that I didn't think were consistent with the characters, and I
Right.
think that could have definitely been a better movie. So, and we later on we're going to have, by the end of the year, we're going to have the next Avengers movie, which should prove interesting.
Right. Well, my favorite all-time villain has always been Doctor Doom, but now this whole crazy thing with Tony Stark being Doctor Doom, and I thought at first it was a publicity stunt, but apparently it is not. So, you know
Yeah,
what? I, I
so
I'll see what's what.
there's all kind of theories going on as to what actually happened there. There was apparently a date when he went back in time in a previous movie. There was, reference to when he met his younger version father, and the date and it was wrong. So there's all this theory that maybe he was adopted, or I don't know, had a twin, or I have no idea what they're going to do. But when a comic book property goes to film, you can bet your bottom dollar that they're going to do something to screw up the continuity.
Oh yeah,
It's
they're
going
gonna
to,
do it because they think they can do better and
right.
want to
I
make
mean,
money. That's the
even if
bottom
it's a
line.
minor thing, like here in Supergirl, Crypto was her dog, which, as we know, in the comic books and even in the very first Filmation animated Superman cartoon, Crypto was part of the Superboy uh feature that was in that
Right.
Superman
Right.
thing.
Yes.
Uh, you know, And the continuity was that the crypto was the test pod to go to Earth, but didn't arrive until later, similar to Supergirl.
Right.
You know, all these little minor things like, well, even in Batman 1989, we had, the Joker being the Joe Chill character, the one who killed his parents, which
Yes, yes.
I thought could have been a perfect movie had they not done that, but it was still pretty good, but
Right, right. Well, you know what? At least for any of the earlier Batman movies, at least the Christian Bale movies, those three movies, they did the property justice. I thought they did a very good job, obviously with Joker, a good job with Bane. So,
yeah,
and Ra's al Ghul, I'm not very familiar with the character, but from what I've read later on, that was almost spot on as well. So it's just that those three movies by Christopher Nolan were very, very well put together movies.
yeah, and well cast, for
So,
the
and when
most
we
part.
when we turn our attention to the more modern Batman, I thought Ben Affleck was the perfect Frank Miller Batman.
Yeah,
Older, more cynical than he usually is, and
yeah,
I thought it was good. And you know what? I liked Justice League. But I liked the James Gunn, I guess the director's cut where it added more things to made the movie a bit
yeah,
longer, and I liked that very much. I did. It was I thought everyone did good. The guy who plays Flash, I know that he's had some issues in Hollywood, but Ezra Miller is his name Ezra Miller?
yes,
Yeah,
yeah,
I thought he was a decent Flash myself, and of course I never saw the Flash TV series back from the late 90s, early 90s, something
yeah,
like
yeah, with
that.
John Wesley Shipp.
Right. Never saw any of those, so I don't know how those two would compare. But I did enjoy Justice League. I enjoyed Batman versus Superman. I like that as well, which sets up the Justice League. So.
Yeah,
But
yeah,
there are a lot of people who didn't like it. But like I said, you did don't trust your own instincts and try and make up your own mind, no matter what Hollywood says or
yeah,
any of the shills out there. That's why I mean I heard a lot of bad things about Supergirl. But that would not deter me from seeing it. I'm just not interested right now. Like I said, I have superhero burnout.
yeah.
I
I
think I
can
think
understand that,
I
and
think
and
the last movie, the last movie, oh no, the last superhero movie I saw would have been, I believe, Justice League. So it's been what 5, 6 years since that movie, I think.
oh, none of the more recent Marvels or anything like that.
No, no, I just have no interest. I will say this, I did see on streaming, I did see Fantastic Four, and I did enjoy that movie. I liked it. It's a different Earth. It was the 1960s. I thought they
Yeah,
did it very, very well. I liked that movie very much. I thought it was good.
yeah. I thought finally we got a good, and because they also portrayed them as having been around for a while.
Yes, we don't have to have an
They were
origin
already
story.
married, Reed and Sue, and the chemistry was already there. Um, the voice of the Thing wasn't quite what I was kind of hoping for, but still a good portrayal. I liked, and the very ending, which I won't give away, but the after scenes,
Yes,
you
yes,
have to
yes. You
credit
have to stick
part.
around for those. Yes. You know what?
Yeah.
I lied. The last superhero movie I saw was Deadpool and Wolverine, which of course
Oh yeah. Yeah, that was enjoyable. Um,
definitely very adult.
yeah, definitely.
So, but that was good. And I had never read any of the Deadpool comics. My nephew Luke, he collected them for a number of years. So, and he liked the portrayal of of Deadpool. So, and of course, how can you go wrong with Wolverine? Hugh Jackman is Wolverine.
Yes.
Let's face it,
Yeah.
he owns that role. I couldn't see anybody else being in there,
Yeah.
except though in those beginning scenes there where he's looking for the perfect Logan to assist him. Henry Cavill are very good. Are the Superman I prefer. Henry Cavill as Wolverine. I could see it happen. I could see if they recast for some reason if they ever recast Hugh Jackman and they had Henry Cavill, I would be behind it 100%. Absolutely. I thought he did a great job.
Yeah, Henry Cavill has that kind of chiseled, good looking, but they could have made him Wolverine. He could easily have become the next James Bond.
Yes, yes.
There's a lot of, he's amazing. There's a lot of characters that, iconic
Absolutely.
characters that he could actually pull off.
Yes, that is true. Very true.
And I'm sorry not to see him as Superman.
I'm
I
sure I'm
liked
not
the
as sorry as he would
Superman.
feel. Yeah. Well, now I have not seen Superman from last year. How was that movie, and how does this Superman stack up against Henry Cavill, if you can even
Well,
compare the two?
Henry Cavill has more of that traditional Superman strength and confidence
Right.
and
Okay.
uh and uh swag, I
Presence?
should
Yeah.
say, flying swag. Um, this Superman is not bad, but he's different in the fact that he's a bit more vulnerable. You see him as more of a person, as both Clark Kent and even Superman.
Right. Right.
He doesn't have this strong confidence. Not that Superman is supposed to be cocky, but Superman, usually kind of takes charge more. This Superman is a little, I hate to say softer, but he shows his heart a little bit more.
I
And there's
see.
some great scenes in Superman.
I have heard a lot of good things. I will eventually see it.
Yeah, especially what I liked most about the new Superman, as opposed to the Man of Steel, even though I liked Henry Cavill in the lead role, is that it was the kind of Superman that we should see, in the sense that it was a more hopeful, brighter film, and not as dark. You
Right.
didn't get like endless amounts of destruction of buildings and in battles. This Superman was more mindful of, don't get into a big battle with a major giant alien who could squash people.
Right.
Get him away from the crowd. I mean, I appreciated that. And he's not perfect, and he's the first to admit that even though he's called Superman, he's not, perfect. And
Right.
there was a lot of good things about last year's Superman. It was a fun movie. It was positive. It was plenty of action. And the only thing I wish is that they didn't immediately put this romance together and his identity become known to Lois Lane. I was really hoping that that would stretch out a bit longer.
Right. I see. I understand. Yeah.
Um, but that didn't happen. I thought the actor that played Lex Luthor was perfect. I was taken aback when when they had some guest star, as superheroes, the choices that they made, of all people, to put Mr. Terrific, uh,
Yeah.
the Green Lantern that they picked, and Hawkgirl. Not a trio, and Metamorpho. I thought it was the first time we've ever seen Metamorpho on screen.
Okay.
Um,
Right.
and
Yes.
I thought they did a fantastic job with him. Um, and I did like the portrayals of Mr. Terrific, who's a character I'm not as familiar with, but he was great. And there was a scene with Hawkgirl that I absolutely loved, when a certain bad guy was trying to say, Superman wouldn't do this. And we have 10 more minutes. And Hawkgirl goes, well, I'm not Superman.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah, you have to see the scene and to appreciate it. But
Eventually, I will. Eventually, I will see the movie. Because I've always liked Superman. So and I believe also we have coming up. I believe it's next year. Will be Robert Pattinson's second outing as Batman.
yeah, yeah.
So, because I know they started releasing some photos, and that there are some minor changes to the bat suit, where I think it's supposed to go. It's supposed to go to the traditional gray and blue. but from what I saw,
Yeah.
it looked almost black. But it looked a little more colorful than what we had seen in the first movie.
Yeah. And weren't they also supposed to do something with like a solo movie with like Killer Croc or somebody? Uh,
There is a
or a
movie.
streaming service
There is a
or
movie coming out that's like with Clay. Are you talking about Clayface?
Clayface. I'm sorry, not Killer Croc.
To me
Clayface.
that was that's more like the building has to be almost like a horror movie, but not a superhero movie. I don't think you're
Hmm.
going to be seeing superheroes in there. You're just going to
Yeah.
see this knucklehead, how he came to be and what he had to go through with his changing face and then learning how to control it and then going from there. Will there be any cameos by Batman
Yeah.
or any other superheroes? Because it does take place in Gotham City.
Yeah.
That's unknown at this time.
Hmm. Well, I
And
never got through all of the Penguin that they did a streaming service series on.
And
I
I thought that was I have not seen that, but I had heard a lot of very good things
Yeah, I got to go
about
back
Penguin.
and catch the ending of it or the last few episodes. I don't know what
Absolutely.
happened when I stopped. It wasn't because I didn't like it. It was just because I don't know, my viewing
Right.
restriction got.
And I hope that in the second Robert Pattinson movie that they explore more of the Joker because you can see deleted scenes with the Joker and he looks pretty gruesome. He looks like a very frightening
Yeah,
character, not somebody who's going to wear a purple tuxedo or whatever the Joker
yeah,
normally wore. But this very would be very 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 sinister, almost like a serial killer.
yeah.
So, but it'll be interesting. We'll see what happens. But that I think because when I was a kid, my favorite superhero was Batman. I loved Batman. My one of my first Halloween costumes was Batman before I went to a skeleton, and then in my older years I went as a bum.
Yeah.
Plastic
Well, we
cigar.
love this series, and
I absolutely
we
did
didn't we
love
didn't
this
think
series.
it was as silly as it was until years
No.
later.
And then when you see Julie Newmar for the first time in her Catwoman
My
outfit.
heart still jumps when I
You know,
see
you know, you're only 6'5", 6 years old, but that is a pretty woman right there.
yes,
And
yes,
Eartha Kitt didn't do a bad job either.
yeah,
And neither did Lee Merriweather in her only outing as Catwoman in the
yeah,
Batman movie. So,
yeah.
and there you
All
go.
right. Well, I guess we're going to be wrapping up. I can't believe we're practically done already.
We got 6 minutes to go. So pick
Okay.
another topic in the world of superheroes. Now tell me this. What superhero do you think, whether it be DC or Marvel, deserves a movie? Who would you like to see on the silver screen?
Well, as silly as he comes across, because he's a more humorous rendition, I would still like, and there's been talk of his coming to big screen over the years. I'd like to see how they would approach Plastic Man for the DC.
I never liked because it didn't Plastic Man wear like an orange suit with bare legs and goggles?
Black it was a red outfit with goggles. It was totally ridiculous.
Yes.
He had become a property of DC over the years. They introduced Elongated Man as before that, and who made it into the CW series, but then there was issues with the actor. I always thought the Elongated Man and his wife would make like almost like a the old movie series of the Thin Man. Uh,
Yes.
that's what they would do. Like basically, she's more the brains and he's got the superpowers. That would make an interesting movie or series. I hope they do, and it's not DC or Marvel, but I do hope we get another shot at Green Hornet,
That would be
particularly as
very
a
interesting.
streaming
Yes.
service kind of thing. Marvel, who would I want to see from a Marvel superhero?
Because let's face it, yeah, there's a lot to choose. There are a lot of
There's so
minor
many.
characters to choose from. I think they've covered pretty much all the major characters in Marvel. Uh,
Yeah.
See,
Yeah.
I have difficulty myself figuring out who would I want to see on the screen. Um,
Starman, maybe from DC, either the original Starman and make it a more film noir, era, uh,
right.
or or the Starman that was from the 80s, the Prince Gavin one. I always liked him. It was almost had a Star Wars feel to it, and I think they patterned that. But I would bring him to Earth,
Right,
much like,
right.
but him being an adult, so as opposed to coming like Kal-El did as a baby, but Starman, and having to adjust. But Booster Gold. When are we finally going to see a big screen Booster Gold? I think that could be hysterical and also fun. Um, so, but
Yeah.
we'll only time will tell.
Time will tell. Then again, and I would what I would like to see would be another attempt at a Todd McFarlane product, and that would be Spawn. I
Oh
enjoyed
yeah,
the two seasons of animateds that were on in the early 90s on HBO, and I, of course, enjoyed the movie with Martin Sheen. I thought the movie was very, very well done with him, and as clown was John Leguizamo. I
yeah,
thought it was, I forget who the actor was that played Spawn, but I thought it was a very, very well done movie. I enjoyed it very much. I would love to see them return and do something with Spawn, because Spawn has a
yeah,
lot of great characters in it, and he's I guess he'd be like an anti-hero, you know.
yeah,
I
yeah,
mean, instead of having something black and white, just have something lurking in the gray area.
yeah,
Then again, the Punisher is not is in a gray area as well. He does good, but he also does a lot of bad too.
yeah.
So but you're right. It all depends on what Hollywood thinks is going to make money.
Right. That's
So,
what it all comes down to.
yep.
Well, how do people reach out to you, Wayne? Through the your email address and
Our
the Britannic.
Britannic address is, you can look us up on the web at www.ussbritannic.org, and that's two T's, not two N's, Britannic. And of course, we are uh, almost 20 years as a chapter in Starfleet and in Region 7. And you can reach me at Wayne Augustson, AUGUSTSON, at gmail.com.
Awesome. And of
And there you
course, I can
go.
be reached through usschallenger.org and usschallengerco@gmail.com. And you could also just check out region7.com. Check out all the chapters that we have in our immediate area if you're interested. And we're way beyond just Star Trek. We enjoy all of this kind of
There's
stuff.
a lot of, yes, there's a lot wrapped up in Star Trek fandom, not just Star Trek. There's a taste of
Yeah.
everything for everybody.
Yep. So we thank you, Hercules, for once again providing me this opportunity to have fun with other friends and people who enjoy all these genres. And I can't wait for next month because then I'll be able to promote this big Star Trek celebration, 60
60
anniversary
years. Yep.
event with my friend Steve Lance, who's going to be my guest. And he'll be there at that event on August 30th in Seaside Heights on the boardwalk. I just hope we have great weather, unlike tonight. And I've been working hard on that thing.
Good, good, good. Sounds good. I hope it comes off.
Why we could plan a special around it. We could put a little bit more time and energy into it and make a special episode.
Oh, that would be great. Yeah. That's pretty much what I know. We're going to be talking a lot with Steve about this because he's going to love being on stage and up on the boardwalk signing autographs. And I don't know if there's going to be an opportunity for him to really be a speaker at the event, but he'll certainly talk during the next segment about what he's been up to, and we'll be promoting the event. So looking forward to that.
There you go. Yeah.
Such an excellent host, and thank you both for putting together a great show. And two things I want to add to your discussion. Guy Gardner is the name of the annoying Green Lantern.
Guy Gardner, I couldn't think of it for a sec. Yeah.
Agents of Shield ranked, I think, 7th seed.
Oh, 7 seasons.
Seven.
Okay. I thought, I
Wow.
thought it was, I
Okay.
thought it went a while.
Wow. Okay. Thank you for I didn't remember that.
I wanted to jump in like 10, 15 times to throw my 2 cents, but I resisted the temptation. Thank you, and I'll talk to you both very soon.
Yes, you will. Thank you very much. Good night, Hercules.
Good night. Take care.
Birthday, Bob.
Bye.
Bye. That was fun.